In Project 2, we're going to take a look at sorting and selecting records within a data source file. And we've looked at mail merges before in previous chapters, but we're going to take a look at it a little bit differently since we are looking to sort the records that we have in a data source, as well as look for certain records that meet a specific criteria. And that essentially just means filtering records that meet that criteria. So we're going to begin in Project 2A with a blank document, and we're going to start the mail merge by going to the Mailings tab. In the Start Mail Merge group, we're going to click on Start Mail Merge, and then we're going to go directly to Labels. And within the Label Options dialog box, our vendor, we want it to be Avery US Letter. There's a lot of different products in here. The vendor that we want those Avery US Letter. We also want the product number to be 5160 Easy Pill Address Labels. And again, remember that when you purchase labels from Office Depot or Staples or some store, it'll be packaged by a vendor that will be listed on the packaging. Also on that packaging will be some kind of product number, and by choosing that product number, that will specify the height and the width of your labels. Okay, so go ahead and click OK. That will set your document up so that it looks like labels, and then the records that we're going to use, or the data source that we're going to use to create these labels, has already been created for us out in our Chapter 5 folder. So to get to that, on the ribbon Start Mail Merge group, we're going to select recipients by using an existing list. Then I'm going to go out to the student data files in the Chapter 5 folder, and there's only one database out here, LFS Clients, and I'm just going to double click on that. That attaches, if I go to Edit Recipient List, here are the recipients that are in that data source. Okay, and the first time through here we're going to sort these by last name, and all you have to do simply is click on the last name heading, and that puts those in alphabetical order according to last name. If we wanted to sort them by city, we scroll over to city. If you click on the city heading, for some reason it kicks you back to the left, but if you go over to city, you'll see that those are in alphabetical order as well. And then you can also do a multi-level sort. If we wanted to sort the records by zip codes and get several zip codes together, and if there's more than one record with the same zip code, then we want it to look to last name. And then finally, they actually do 3 levels here by first name. So to do a multi-level sort, or to complete a multi-level sort, at the bottom here where it says Refine Recipient List, we're going to click on the Sort link. That brings up a Filter and Sort dialog box with the Sort Records tab listed. The Filter Records tab is also available too, and we'll get to that in just a minute, but notice they're both in the same dialog box. So we're going to sort records, and again we want to sort by zip code, and we're going to place the zip code in ascending order, it looks like, so we'll leave that as is. The then by, we do want last name in ascending order, and then we're going to do a third level, first name. So if there's multiple zip codes, it'll look to last name. If there's multiple last names, then it'll look to first name and put them in the appropriate order. Okay, go ahead and click OK out of that. It should sort those immediately here in this dialog box. You can see if there's multiple zip codes, there's a couple here, those should be in alphabetical order according to last name, and since there's not multiple last names, then it's just going to stick with that. Fernandez and Stahl. That's the second, yeah. Okay, so now that they're in order, we can click OK. Then we'll go ahead and develop the label sheet, and by doing that we need to add the address block. So if we go up to the ribbon in the right and insert fields, there's an address block link. That brings up some options here for us. We're not going to make any changes to those. All the information that's included in an address block is automatically generated when you choose that particular button. It knows to put the first name, the street address. If there's a second address, it'll put that in there as well, along with the city, state, and zip. We'll click OK out of that. That adds the address block just for that first label. So if we want the address block to appear on every other label, we'll go back up to the right and insert fields group and choose the Update Labels button. And that will put the address block on every label within our sheet. Okay, and then at this point we're ready to merge. We're ready to take that data source that we have and merge it with our main document. And to do that, I'm going to go back to the ribbon. We'll click on the Finish and Merge button. Go to Edit Individual Documents, and then we're going to merge them all. So click OK. That does put it into a new document called Labels 2. And if you notice this, some of these that have the 4 lines in their address block, that's kind of kicking them off the label. So let's select the entire sheet of labels. I'm just going to click on the 4-sided arrow in the upper left-hand corner. And then on the ribbon, I'm just going to choose no spacing. And that should eliminate some of the issues there with the increased spacing between the lines. Now we should see that these are in order according to zip codes, and they do read across. So 201, 203, 20376, 20384, 20389. So those are in order according to the zip codes. And then if we have the same zip code, then it looks to the last name. And if those last names are the same, then it would go on looking at the first name. Okay, so that's sorting records in your database and then using that sort order, merging into a main document for your labels. Alright, we're going to go ahead and close out of this. I'm not going to save it. That takes us back to the main document. Typically you do save your main document. I'm not going to in this example. Go ahead and close out of that. And then we're going to look at Project 2B, where we're going to select certain records that meet a certain criteria. We'll use those records that meet that criteria in a merge with labels again. So we'll start out, I need a blank document on my screen. We'll go back to the Mailings tab, select, Start Mail Merge, sorry. Start Mail Merge because we have to know if it's labels or what kind of mail merge it is. Still US letter, still 5160 Easy Pill address labels. Click OK to that. Now we have a sheet of labels. Then we need to get our recipients, our data list, again from our Chapter 5 folder. And again, it's LFS Clients, and I'm just going to double click on that. And then to filter, to look for records that meet a specific criteria, I'm going to go back into Edit Recipient List. And this time down at the bottom, Refine Recipient List, I'm going to go to the Filter option. Again, this is still Filter and Sort. It's the same dialog box, except now it brings up the Filter Records tab. And in this first merge, we're going to look, we want the computer to find all the records whose zip code is greater than 21000. So it's a zip code field that we're looking at. So we'll choose that. The comparison operator, we're going to switch that from equal to greater than. And then the compare to, we'll put in the 21000 option. Click OK. That will filter out and show us only those records that are above 21,000 or 21000. And then at that point you can click OK. Go through the same steps to get your labels set up. We need to add the address block. Not going to make any changes here. Click OK. We need to update the labels so that we have the address block on every label. And then we're going to merge. Again, edit individual documents, merge them all, click OK, and we'll get those same 5 that we saw in the filtered dialog box. Again, if I select all the labels, I can choose no spacing, and that'll make it single spaced. You could also change that so that they appear in the middle by going to the Table Tools Layout tab and then choosing the middle one here, Align Center. Lots of different alignments that you can use at that point. Okay. Alright, I'm going to close out of this again without saving. This is your main document. Typically, again, you would save that. And then we're going to try another one, a final one here, where we're looking for specific cities within our data source. And actually, we're going to use 2 different ones. Rosedale and Towson will be our 2 cities that we're searching for. And then again, we'll use those cities and create mailing labels for them. So again, we've got a blank document, Mailings tab, Start Mail Merge, labels. It's remembering what we put in before, so we're good there. Need to select recipients by using an existing list, that same list that we've been using the whole time. LFS clients. I'm going to double click. We'll edit the recipient list. Again, we're going back into the filter and sort dialog box. Again, we're looking for cities, so our field will be city, and it needs to equal the city by the name of Rosedale. We also want to add a second one, so it's going to be an or, so it can be either Rosedale or Towson. So again, the city field equal to Towson. And as you can see, there's several more that we could add here as well. So we're looking for only these two cities. Okay, click OK. There are the two cities. There are 6 records that meet that criteria. Again, we'll click OK after we've got them. We'll need to set up our labels again by adding the address block. We'll need to update the address block placeholder so that it appears on all the labels in our main document. So again, I'll choose Update Labels. Then, and I haven't mentioned this previously, but here's probably a good place to save the document, which I've not saved the main document in any of the previous examples, but that's kind of a good habit to get in right before the merge. Probably always want to save your main document. So edit individual documents, merging them all again. Should get the 6 that we saw previously in our filtered list. Again, I'm going to select the labels, and we're going to apply no spacing. And then, as I mentioned before, you can apply some of these other alignments if you want. So whatever your preference is on that. You can format them to bold, you can italicize them, you can change the font size. All that can be done once it's set up. So, alright, so that's sorting and filtering a data source. Now I'm going to go ahead and close out of this, again without saving. And the main document, as I mentioned before, should be saved. I'm not taking the time to do that in this demo, but that should be saved.